The G-20 summit underway in Argentina, and Wall Street is eagerly awaiting Saturday's trade summit between President Trump and China's President Xi. Eamon Javers joins us from Buenos Aires with the very latest. Eamon.
Yeah, hi, Melissa. World leaders this evening have started to arrive at the Teatro Colón here in Buenos Aires for what they're billing as a cultural event here. So a night of entertainment, night out on the town. We've seen a couple of the world leaders arrive already. Angela Merkel of Germany made it here despite her airplane trouble. She's finally in Buenos Aires. Mohammed bin Salman is there at the event already, and we're expecting the rest of them to be along very shortly. So this has been quite a day. We were winding down here in Buenos Aires, but we saw a couple of moments today that I want to highlight for you. One was this very interesting interaction between Vladimir Putin and Mohammed bin Salman. Take a look at this bro shake, or whatever you want to call it, that happened earlier today. A very enthusiastic greeting, you'd have to say, between those two world leaders. And then the other moment that we saw that was kind of compelling was the signing ceremony for the new NAFTA, the new trade deal between Canada, the United States, and Mexico. At that signing ceremony, Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, refused to hold up his version of the document. When the other leaders held it up and they encouraged him to do it, he just left it there very pointedly. And Justin Trudeau also not calling it the USMCA, the term that the President Trump prefers for that document, instead calling it the new version of the North American Free Trade Agreement. So Justin Trudeau not entirely on the same page here as these other leaders as the day went on. But ultimately, all eyes are on tomorrow here in Buenos Aires, and that's when we get that big dinner between Xi Jinping and President Trump. No indication that there's some enormous deal hammered out and ready to go here behind the scenes. Instead, a sort of a lowering of expectations at this point, Melissa. People saying, you know, what we might get here is some kind of positive rhetoric, positive signaling, and maybe an agreement to continue to talk. That might be the bar for which people are headed here for that dinner tomorrow night. But we'll keep you posted on what we hear from here.
Is there any indication, Eamon, as to scheduled events, a photo op between the two tomorrow, a photo op maybe post-dinner, any sort of post-dinner press conference?
Yeah, we haven't been given a lot of guidance on that from the White House. But what we do know is that both leaders are flying out of here after that dinner late tomorrow night. So we expect that we might get an airplane-bound tweet from the president giving us some indication. He often does that when he leaves these international summits. That might be how we hear from them. We are expecting a press conference from President Trump before the dinner tomorrow afternoon. So you might get sort of a preset sense of where his mind is going into the dinner, but we're not necessarily told that we're going to get anything in particular after the dinner is over with.
All right, Eamon, thank you. Eamon Javers in Buenos Aires, Argentina for us. So is there any need for investors to sink their teeth into here, or is the summit just another nothing burger? That was in the prompter. I don't know what nothing burger is. But anyway, maybe not a market-moving event here. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a market-moving event. And again, I don't think there's going to be a deal made, but I do think I think President Trump is so focused on the stock market going higher with all the noise around the administration over the last couple of weeks. He views winning as the market going higher. He will get some sort of framework for a deal, conversation, or dialogue, or rhetoric out, and the stock market will be up on Monday, in my opinion. You
know, it was interesting that intraday today, the markets rose on the back of a headline from a Chinese official saying that there's growing consensus, although there still are differences.
So this is the whole ceasefire truce that everybody's throwing around. If you have any type of ratcheting down of this trade war, then the market is going to say, hey, wait a second, maybe there's an end in sight, and that'll be positive for it. But I think it'll be very, very important afterwards to find out that post-game type of thing that they talk about.
I think it preloaded. I think the market was all about positioning today. I think people covered whatever they had to cover. Not 100% because it's not in the tape until it's actually in the tape. But I think it's a sell the news event. I think next week you could see this pop, and I think you fade that pop.
Sell the news when it comes to EM?
No, I tell you what.
To China stocks?
So Alibaba, Tencent are actually broken well through their 50 today. Alibaba outperformed the EM by 300 basis points. I actually think emerging is actually going to continue to outperform and maybe not rally back anywhere near the old highs, but watch that trade. I do think that the Fed is really the put in the market right now, and I do think next week we're another Fed statement away from maybe people reassessing that. But for now, I think the Fed means downside is limited on not a good reaction this weekend.